What's going on, people? We are back again with another video. On this one right here, it's all about what went down £1,000. This is season freaking 5, episode 3, but this is all about Chris, Amanda, and Misty, because of course they're also going through their own weight loss journeys as well. So with that being said, let's get into it.
Weighed for Dr. Smith 6 months ago. I was pretty close to 300 pounds. Under 300, take it any day of the week. I'm gonna start looking into some kind of skin removal because I haven't on the scale in a long time. So I really don't know exactly how much I weigh.
You're 300 pounds, right on the mark. It's easy to become complacent, and he's probably had a tough time sticking with the diet or incorporating some good types of healthy exercise. You can't lose weight for the rest of your life if you do the right things. We need to help break you through that plateau. What I want you to do is work really hard to get that extra 50 pounds off.
You know what though? This is the thing, isn't it, about weight loss? There's always the part where you're going to plateau. But plateau isn't a bad thing, you know what I mean? It just means you need to switch things up. You know, I mean, I think sometimes when they tell you things, people translate it to themselves as if it means that they have to work harder, as if they have to sweat more or whatever, right? Which, you know, give or take is still a factor. But at the same time, though, I always say that it is a moment where your body needs a switch up. You know, like for example, when bodybuilders go to the gym, they'll go for a period where they eat pure healthy stuff, but then the gains may stop or something happens that plateaus them. So what happens, they do a reset, and a reset usually means they'll have like a cheat meal, and then once having the cheat meal, they go back to, you know what I mean? And usually that's what they do. For me personally, not it's something that I do personally. I mean, I'm not a bodybuilder anyway, but generally speaking, I believe in keeping the same diet all year round, so therefore I can maintain the physique that I have all year round. But of course, my goals are very different to Chris's goals. So with Chris now, on the other hand, even though he's receiving bad news, he's not actually receiving bad news. He's receiving literally standard news, and that is that, listen, plateaus can happen, but when they happen, all you gotta do is switch up a little bit, a few things here and there in your diet. But when it comes to exercise, just keep it the same. You don't have to do more exercise. You can do more if you want to. Is it gonna accelerate the weight loss? There's a possibility, but if anything, the weight loss comes more from you switching up your diet itself in particular. But to be fair with you, Chris, though, there's a good chance, and I say this in a negative way, but there's a good chance he probably has been eating a little bit too funky, and that's probably why he has plateaued for as long as he had. Because to be honest with you, I believe that Chris should have probably lost at least something more than, you know, the 300 pounds that he's at now, you know. Because for me personally, if you get to that stage, that tells me that there's something that you're not doing correctly personally, because losing weight is something that you always do even when you plateau, even if it's a little pound. If you're not losing anything and you're stagnant means that you've got comfortable, and you got comfortable within your food, and you got comfortable within your diet. And I think that's the case with Chris here, but we continue.
And that just ain't fair. The weight loss comes so easy at first, and then 18 months out, it slows or stops, but I'm never going to be able to complete my journey.
Misty and I will be going to see Dr. Smith to have a nicotine test. And if we don't pass that nicotine screen, then we can't get approved for surgery.
Now, when it comes to Misty and Amanda, you know, these two decided to smoke during the time when there was the moment, wasn't there, when Amy was going for the war with Michael. And they took the time out to go outside and have a nice little cigarette, because they needed it because of all the stress they'd been through. But you know what really bothered me the most about that scene? What bothered me the most is that Amanda was fully sat there and said that I need to have a cigarette because this is too much for me, even though I know that if I have nicotine in my body, I will probably be denied the weight loss surgery. So it's interesting how she consciously knew what she was about to do, but did it anyway. And I find that so strange with so many people. Like for me personally, if I know that I'm consciously going to do something, I will do what I can to stop myself from doing that thing. Unless, of course, I really need it. But again, it is quite subjective because, no, but then again, at the same time, if I know that I have to get to this goal to get my weight loss surgery, I promise now I am not going to botch it. If I'm conscious of my actions, I am not going to actually follow through. And that's something that I do wonder about certain people in this world, why they still do things that they shouldn't do, even when they are 100%, 1000% conscious about it. But hey, I guess it is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, the example I would give of myself isn't exactly the same, because for me personally, the only time I consciously do something that maybe I don't want to do or maybe shouldn't do is when I have a little bit of a cheat meal. But when I say cheat meal, you know, when sometimes you can have like a cheat meal, but then you have another one, you have another one. So like, for example, right now during the Christmas period, you know, I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't really have any more. But I'm like, oh, but I should though. Why not? Or sometimes you have a craving or something. You're like, I really have to have that craving just so I can get out of my system. Those are the times when literally I'll cave in a little bit, you know what I mean? And then feel bad about it after, give or take, you know? But I guess at those situations, I don't really have anything to aim for or anything to pull me back. So of course I follow through. But I think in this situation here, they have an aim, they have a target, and the target is to get that surgery. So I definitely would have never broke. But either way though, Chris is on the journey of trying to get weight loss, trying to get skin surgery, because he wants to get rid of the excess skin, which of course will also add up to the pounds that he has anyway. So I know he wants to get there. I do believe he will get there. So he just needs to crack on and stop messing about. Amanda and Misty, I mean, listen, them two just need to stop being silly. It's just that simple, to be honest with you. But hey, you guys let me know exactly what you're thinking down below in the comment section, and we'll talk about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, peace.